Hey guys, welcome in. All right, so what is this? All right, we got a pre-order. That was Jasmine. And then just after the live started, Amy donated. So that is the order that I've got right now. Jasmine, if you want to post your question, I'm ready.
Relationships that might not be as bonded as you think. Which one's going to check in with that, right? Hey, how you doing? I wish you well. We'll get somewhere else. You never know. That guy might be around. I'm going to see for spring Popeye Phillips. And JoJo Phillips is going to be about 2 yards shy of first down. You're going to flag on the field as well. And that's going to come back. With its offense. They started quarterback last year at Georgia, something Auburn, down there. Both expect to be a big contributor at Texas if you're a big fan. On a screen pass, nice play. Going back to the David Shaw, the transfer portal has only worked in one direction historically for Stanford. That's guys leaving. But this year, for the first time, they had 17 players transfer in. It's a team that's gone through 4 consecutive losing seasons at 3-9, and something has to change structurally. Something has to change in terms of NIL, the transfer portal, and that's why Andrew Luck is the perfect guy to move this program into the modern era.
Jasmine, remember when I said that I feel like it would be a contender if you hadn't put in the approval for the other place? That I think that this might be enough to swindle you. I had a feeling you were gonna like it. That's funny. And it was more like the logistics that were gonna keep you with the place that you're living in now. But as the energy shifts and as your decisions start to sway, you may change the outcome of yesterday. Wait, was I on mute the whole time? Hold on, let me double check. I guess it just randomly muted me. All right, let's take a look here. Right. Which is best, especially since you're moving in a place by yourself. And I'm not sure if you've ever lived on your own before, but you definitely don't want to live above your means. So when you did the tour, they didn't tell you how much it was going to be? So I have the Hanged Man in terms of price, as well as the Page of Swords and the Emperor. So what this is telling me is that with the Page of Swords, pages typically don't really think through their actions. So energy surrounding the money, it's almost like you just like it so much you just want to go for it, even if that's not the smartest decision. That is the energy because you just like it so much. And in your mind, you probably think, oh, I'll make it work because it's what I want. But it may not be the best for you. I have the Hanged Man. So for finances, this is indicating that you might be held up in other areas of your life. You might not be able to be as flexible in the things that you want to do. It does kind of seem a little bit out of budget because I have the Emperor here and it's talking about um needing stability. Like you need to remember that you need stability. And the Hanged Man kind of feels like everything is on hold because maybe you're putting so much money towards the rent. Now here's the thing. She sent over a new quote. Okay. I think they can work with you on price. I think that they can be flexible. I just don't think that they want to. It all depends on how desperate they are to get you in there, and how much demand there is for these places that you looked at. I feel like if you choose this place, there's a lot of sacrifices you're going to have to make in other areas of your life. I'm not saying you wouldn't be happy here because I do have the 4 of Wands and the 10 of Cups, but your life outside of here, if you're used to getting your nails done, if you're used to eating out a couple times a week, if you're used to streaming services or like a particular hobby that's like a monthly subscription, things like this might have to be pushed to the side because you're going to be putting it into the place that you're living. And the other thing is that like I'm hearing like you're going to be spending more money and it's not going towards your own equity. It's going against your credit, but not towards your own equity. So when you rent, you want to pay the least amount of money per month as you can because you're basically funding someone else's life when you are renting somewhere. And so if you're putting 2,000, 3,000, however much into an apartment that you're renting, you're building someone else's life and someone else's dream instead of your own, where like you could be putting it into a house, for example. And I know that you're not in that stage yet, but when you're renting, you want to basically make it as affordable for yourself as possible. Because if you're strapping yourself and living the life that is not necessarily the best for you just because you want to live in this place, you're going to be making a lot of sacrifices, the Hanged Man, in order to achieve this. And then not only that, but you're giving that money to someone else and you never will see that money again. So I do think with this energy that it is going to be more expensive. And I guess you have to just consider for yourself, like, do you want more flexibility in other areas of your life where you can go out and not feel like super stressed? Or do you want to be like house poor, if that makes sense? Like basically all the money that you have is going towards your rent every month and like utilities and all of that. Like I said, it doesn't mean you're not going to be happy here. It's just like a little less balanced than if you were to choose something that was more affordable. So with the Hanged Man and with the Page of Swords energy, the card of sacrifices and not thinking through decisions, I'm gathering from these two cards that this place is going to be more out of your price range. Yeah, you don't want to be house poor. Exactly. I was just having this conversation with my sister earlier today where I was like, even if I made like triple the amount of money that I make right now, I would still live in a humble home. I would still because I want walking around money, you know, like I want to be able to go here or there or do this thing or buy this gift or whatever and not feel like I'm having to like watch every single penny. So I'm not going to put all of my money into a dream home and then have nothing to show for it outside of that. So here's what I will say, Jasmine. If it's like a couple extra $100 a month, then budget. Then look at your finances and think to yourself, okay, this is already a bigger expense than I'm used to. Is there any other corners that I can cut in order to afford this place? And then if you're like, not really, or I don't want to cut corners, then I think you just need to go with the more affordable option, whichever that ends up being. I say don't make any decisions until you have all the facts. What is this move-in date with this new place? How much is it going to be? Etc., etc. And then make your decision, but also take into consideration Spirit's advice before you pull the trigger, and make sure that you have all the facts, because that's what the Page of Swords doesn't do. The Page of Swords should have all the facts, very curious energy, but it's not very stable, and they kind of just like go head first into anything rather than like scoping it out and really thinking it through. Does that help answer your question? Yay! Is there anything else you wanted to donate for before I move on to the next person? Oh, shoot. Yeah, if I hadn't already done your reading, you could definitely have just added on the difference. But when I was taking the in-depth into consideration, I didn't know you wanted the BOGO. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you ever want to upgrade, as long as I haven't done your reading yet, you can always just add on the difference. All right. What is the next question that you have for me? I got it. Thank you.
He's a guy that came over, was not expected to be the starter at BYU. Coach Jay Bresloff was facing the suspension, decided to leave. He's the first freshman starter quarterback at BYU. Bosmeyer all day to throw. Throws a frozen earth that melts in the arms of JoJo Phillips. First down, BYU. Great patience there, Bosmeyer. Waiting for JoJo Phillips to clear into a window where he can throw it. 21-yard pickup. First and 10 in Lockmeyer. Slings it again behind.
Space I'm going for is cheaper to me. Can you tell me what the energy is surrounding the apartment? I'm going to go to that way. It's cheaper to me, more because of utilities and humanities. So, are you referencing the apartment that you've already been approved for? You're leaning in that direction. Is that what you're saying?
Intended for Kingston. It'll set up a third down and 10 with 30 seconds to go.
Okay, got you. And when you say the energy surrounding that apartment, is there anything in particular that you're looking for me to tell you? Like, do you want to know how it's going to feel like after you move in? Are you wanting to know if there's anything you should know about this particular apartment? Good, neutral, or bad, or just basically whatever I like pick up. I just want to make sure I'm able to answer your question how you want me to.
That's just a great effort up the middle by play action to get to the quarterback. Split it. Such two offensive linemen.
I have never seen so many good cards come out back to back to back to back surrounding this apartment. I feel like Spirit's trying to make it like extremely clear that this is the place for you. Like right now, this is like the flashing lights basically. So whatever you pick up, it's within my budget. I just want to make sure that I'm making the correct choice, especially when it comes to energy. Yeah, you got the 10 of Cups, which, just a quick rundown, 10 of Cups talks about happy endings, like happily ever after, perfect union, alignment, harmony, balance. And then we have the 4 of Wands, which is like, take the next step. It's like the encouragement to like go do it. Like, this is the next step for you. The 4 of Wands is celebrations. It's building a foundation. It's strong. It's like strengthening yourself or your relationships. The 10 of Pentacles is like a long-term success. Everything you worked for leading you up into this point. Just basically feeling like you made the right decision and took all the right steps to lead you here. And then the 2 of Cups is like a perfect match. And like, these are the cards that came out back to back to back to back to back. So with that being said, I feel like Spirit is here saying this is your next step. This is the choice that you should be making. And again, I can only offer you spiritual advice. Any decision you make is yours. But from a tarot standpoint, that this is just beautiful. Like, if your apartment was a person, I would be like, this is the love of your life. Like, this is the person you're going to end up with. This is the person you're going to marry. Obviously, we're talking about an apartment, not a person. but it seems like it's just the right fit for you right now. And potentially a renewed lease. It doesn't necessarily mean this is your forever home just because the 10 of Pentacles is here, but it's like you just feel sound. You sleep sound. You feel good here. I don't know, like it just feels like a green light for me when I'm pulling cards on this. I have the Three of Cups, which is like of socialization. So we keep getting that repeating message of like potentially meeting people while you live here, like friends or even a relationship. I do see you walking away from this place at some point. Um, but you'll walk away feeling like it served its purpose and now you're ready for the next chapter. Like you're going to get to the point in this place where you're like, I'm glad I did it. It was the perfect transition place for me. But now I'm ready to see what's next. And then that's when you decide to leave. But I think for right now, this is what you need. This is what everything's like leading you towards. And to be completely honest, Jasmine, it almost feels like divine support in a way, where I almost feel like if you try to get the other place, spirit might block it from happening anyways. Like it might be an outrageous price, or you apply and something weird happens. You're noticing like a lot of hiccups on your application. It's like this approval just happens so easily and so fast for you that it's like I feel like it's a sign. And I don't think spirit wants you to have any more hardship. The problem is that spirit's not going to interfere with your free will. So they can create blocks in your life, but if you keep pushing past those blocks and say, oh my God, Bodhi, if you push past those blocks and you're like, no, I'm still going to go for this anyway, then they're going to be like, okay, there's nothing I can do. Like, she really wants this place. It's her free will. I tried to give her warning signs. She's not listening to me. Like, she's just going to have to learn the hard way. But leaning into this other place that's potentially and most likely more affordable and more like your speed for where you are in life, I feel like spirit's guiding you in this direction. And the other thing to take into consideration is your credit. The shitty thing about renting is that it can affect your credit if you don't pay, but it doesn't help you build equity. You're basically flushing your money down the drain every day. So you want to make sure you're living as comfortably as possible. If after a year you change your mind, you're like, I feel like I've got a good grasp on this. I feel like I've got a good handle on this. It's just my cats attacking each other. If, you know, you're like, now I think I can handle something that's a little more expensive, but more my speed, then at that point you will have the experience and be like, okay, this is a decision that I want to make. But I think jumping right into it right away, it's just, this feels like the way to go. I'm not necessarily getting any warnings. I do remember a reading that I did in the past saying, like, with every place that you rent, there's going to be like those grievances. I mean, you can't, it's like a job, you know? Like, at the end of the day, you're renting. At the end of the day, you're sharing a common space. At the end of the day, you're going to be next to neighbors. You know, if you're on the very top floor, you're lucky because you're not going to have people like banging their feet up against, like, above you. And, you know, maybe you get a little frustrated with management, XYZ, like all the examples that come along with renting. So I'm not saying that it's going to be like perfect and smooth sailing. There's not going to be like a little annoyances here and there just because you are living in an apartment. However, I feel like this is the best fit for you right now in the stage of life that you're currently in.
Introducing the German Advanced Pilot, potent team tested its novel the Liquor Box for the targeted transformation across 4 connections.
Hey, IJ. I actually messaged you back. I didn't see your message until like 20 minutes ago. But yeah, Jasmine, I'm not seeing any like, warning signs, I guess you could say. I'm not getting any kind of cards that are indicating, anything not good. I think Spirit just really wants you to be wise with your money, be mindful of how you're spending it. Because with anything with like rent and stuff, a lot of the times they'll do like, you got to pay first and last month's rent up front, and then you can get your deposit back. Your savings could take a hit, things like that. So I think they just really want you to be careful, and don't put yourself in a situation where like now you have nowhere to go because you weren't able to afford it, and you don't want to go back to your mom's. So I would say just baby steps. IJ, are you having a good day?
SMU came back, but Connor Hawkins took the game-winning field goal and 48-45. Cy-Hawk trophy on the line.
Like, what I really want for you, Jasmine, is for this to be successful. I want you to feel like, you really made this happen for you, and this was like a turning point in your life. And I don't want you to ever have to grovel or go back to a situation that's toxic just because you're like, where do I go? Where do I live? What do I do? That's exactly what I'm going to avoid. You want to make baby steps is important. I agree. And you might like it. Like, you might like this place so much that you're just like, okay, the nicer place would be nice, but having a little extra money in my pocket is also really nice. And so you might end up staying there a little longer at this place that you're going to choose. Just because you're like, I'm already here. Oh, sorry. And you're like, my stuff's already here. I don't have to worry about a move. I don't have to go through the whole process again. I know what I'm in for. It might just be easier for you to just stay a little while longer. So the energy feels good with this decision. Having a great day. Good. Gonna donate. Okay, perfect. All right. So, Jasmine, if that concludes your readings, good luck with everything. I still think there's nothing wrong with waiting for the quote and getting all the information from this other place. But I just keep feeling like I would be steering you in the wrong direction by telling you to choose a different place, because I feel like this is the place that you're supposed to go to. For some reason. I don't know why. All I can do is trust my gut. Yay! Okay, sounds good. Have a great night, Jasmine. All right, Amy, I'm kind of laughing because what did I tell you yesterday? I was literally like, he's confused. Like, he doesn't know what you want from him. You're welcome, Jasmine. We'll talk soon. I was like, we need to be like clear and direct. And he was like feeling a little awkward about it. Remember, I said he's not walking away. Like, I still think that he's here interested, but he doesn't really know like what to do. I'm sorry, I'm gonna probably be yawning this whole time. So you want an update on it? Oh my god, IJ. When I saw the amount that you donated for, I was like, oh my god. And then I just realized it's including channeled messages. Okay, cool. So channel messages and in-depth. IJ, I'm working on Amy right now, and then you're going to be next after that, okay? I don't know. Maybe people who are on the spectrum are just like more drawn to each other. Because I remember you saying that that was the same thing with Elijah too, right? It's like you guys just understand each other maybe a little better. Yeah, I got you. I think that's like the law of attraction, right? All right, so the Three of Pentacles came out first. That's indicating like he's feeling a little bit more on the same page with you. How do I explain this? Let's say you had a whiteboard and you had information on your whiteboard, and he had a whiteboard and he had information on his. But you guys weren't seeing each other's whiteboards. Okay? So your feelings and what you wanted from the connection was on your side, and his were on his side. And neither of you were able to see what the other person's board said. Now that you guys have had this conversation, now you're both standing there looking at one whiteboard with all the information on it. So I feel like it's I keep wanting to say strategy, but it's not strategy. It's just like common knowledge. Like you both are seeing the picture the same now. Like it's making a little bit more sense. These things are coming into focus. There's a better understanding because now you guys are looking at the same thing. And instead of trying to fill in the blanks, you guys are a little more clear, I guess you could say. So he's feeling more on a team versus feeling like you guys are just like separate. He's feeling more like clarity, like he knows maybe a little bit more of what it is that you want from him. And I will say this is going to be very important for your communication, is to just be very clear about things like this. Tarot is obviously a really great tool to kind of do a check-in like we're doing right now, like an energy check-in. And maybe if you weren't doing tarot, you might not have considered reaching out to him the way that you did today. And so if it is helping and bringing you guys closer, I love that for you. But I feel like with this person that you're asking about, I feel like he needs that directness from you, and I think this is going to be a key component of your communication, especially because you said that he may also be on the spectrum. And from my understanding, it's better for people that are to just be more direct. You know what I mean? Like it's not as easy picking up social cues and things like that, and the gray area is not so great. Which I'm sure you understand. So I think let this be a lesson for your connection with this person, that having those direct conversations is going to be paramount for your relationship, for your peace of mind, and also for his understanding of where you're at. You said I clarified to him that my tism will pop off in the wrong way. In the community, it's much better to be direct from what I've heard and seen. Yes. So, you don't have to always be like checking in with feelings or whatever, unless that's something you guys both like to do. But he doesn't do good in the gray area. He does not like not knowing what it is that you want from him. Okay. So he's very happy with how this conversation went. 3 of Pentacles. He very much is like, okay, we're on the same page. We're looking at the same whiteboard. We know what we're doing here. And this is feeling a lot better. The Emperor is here, which also indicates that he's feeling a bit more stable in the connection. And there was genuine disappointment of not being able to see you today. I think he was being extremely honest with you and telling you that this was something that he wanted to do. But unfortunately, life was getting in the way. You said it was a short combo, but I'm glad it cleared. Yes, exactly. And I think for you specifically as well, which you've admitted, part of your personality tends to overthink. So for you to provide that information to him, and for him to receive that from you and feeling like you guys understand each other a little bit more, is probably really good for your mental health as well. So you're coming through as the Queen and the Page from his perspective. So he feels like now there's more drive and excitement to continue this connection because he knows where he stands with you a little bit more. He's wanting to indulge more in conversation and communication with you. I think he will take another opportunity to come see you if it works out with like the vehicle situation. The problem is the texting is kind of going to be an issue for you guys, just because he's not a big texter, and it's probably the progress of your connection. While I know you mentioned you wanted to take it slow, is probably going to be taken slow, just because you guys aren't going to have that ability to really build that connection as strong from a distance, especially because if he's not big on texting, that's going to be a problem. If he likes FaceTime, if he likes phone calls, that might be better for you guys, but you have to like see that as it goes. But I definitely feel like he wants to indulge more in this communication, in this connection. I have the King of Pentacles, and whenever I see this card in this deck, it always reminds me of like someone who really wants to savor you and like take their time and be present and be in the moment. It's like he views you like chocolate cake. Like he wants to enjoy every bite. You get what I'm trying to say? Like I feel like he wants to indulge in this connection. This is still something that he wants to explore. I think he's intrigued by you. I think he is, having fun with your relationship that you guys are forming right now. I feel like he's like, this is very, very early days, but I think that there's also a part of him that thinks that it could potentially go somewhere. And that's what I'm seeing with the range between the Page and the Queen, because the Page is kind of like that newness, the beginning, starting something new. And then the Queen is like, we've matured. So it's kind of making me feel like he can kind of see that this could potentially lead to somewhere, even though that might not be his priority right now. It still makes him happy that this is still kind of open now. It almost feels like things have opened back up for your connection. He's not big on calls. That's okay. Yeah, Amy, I get it. Some people are just better in person. But, that's what's going to make your connection a little difficult, because you're trying to form a bond with this person at a distance, and neither of you can get to each other. And if he's not big on communication, virtual communication, then you really don't have it's just going to be like the natural course is just like you won't have a choice but to take this slow. But maybe that's good for you. Maybe that's something that you need. I don't know. Wait, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? Did I say something? Is that thunder? What is that?
Oh,
Hey, Taco, welcome in. Man, it's popping tonight. I didn't know it was going to be so busy. Message cards. Okay. Let's see. You said, Amy, this is why I love you so much. What were you talking about? I'm glad you took. Oh, are you talking about the advice that I gave you? I'm glad you took the advice too. It just, I don't know. It's gonna be hard. This connection's gonna be difficult. Because like if he wasn't like a texter or a talker, that would be fine if you guys were seeing each other a few times a week. But if you're seeing each other like once every couple of weeks, this is gonna be like the slowest burn ever. I am going to update the donation list in just a second, but want to let you guys know the order. So IJ is next, and then I have SB, and then Taka after that. But I will update the list in a moment. Oh, thank you for being here. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. All right, let's look into messages now. Look at him staring at me shuffling. He's always so interested in anything I'm doing with the cards. And then he'll come over and sniff them. And then he'll walk away. So there was a card at the bottom of the deck. It didn't come out. Oh shoot, what did it say? I already forgot what it was. It was like I don't know what you want or something, and it didn't come out. It didn't. That's making me feel like the energy has shifted from the last reading that we did because it didn't come out. I have a feeling if this was the last reading we did, him saying I don't know what you want would have flew out of the deck. Oh, lovely, lovely donated. Hey, Cece, thank you for the donation. I'm updating the list here in just a second, so just bear with me while I'm wrapping up a reading right now, and then I'll let you guys know where y'all are at. Okay? I know, it's so busy tonight. I'm happy I signed on. No, I'm not closing. No. I was just hanging out. But I guess it's just popping. Lovely. I can do your reading tonight. No worries. I feel like he has some regrets a little bit. I'll explain here. Hold on. All right. So he says, I know I messed everything up. And I feel like maybe he feels like he's not measuring up to what you're looking for from him or what you're needing from him. It's almost like him telling you the truth about, for example, I'm not a big texter, don't really like talking on the phone. It's like he still wants connection with you, but he's like, I also want to be really honest. And by being honest, he feels like he's disappointing you. So there could be like a little bit of regret there. But he says, I remember every detail of that day. I wish we could go back. So I feel like this is him really enjoying the time that you guys were spending together and maybe like reliving this in his head. He says we will be together again. I daydream about a life with you. So many things remind me of you. And I like your voice. And that kind of reminds me of like the expression back in the day where people were like, I like your face. I don't know if you remember that or not. But yeah, that is what I've got for you. All right, Amy, let me know if there's anything else I can do for you before I move on to the next person. And while I wait for your response, I'm going to update this donation list. All right, so SB. Taka. All right, IJSB Taka. CC Lovely. All right, so you said you're all good. You remember the era of I like your face. Yeah. I was wondering if you were too young to remember that or not. But you're welcome, Amy. Yeah. Keep me in the loop. Just keep in mind that you wanted to take things slow, and that seems like that's what's going to happen. So I guess just enjoy it. Be present anytime you do talk or hang out with him. And good luck. Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm so not used to seeing you with this new profile picture. It keeps throwing me off. Oh, Amy, that was nice. Thank you. Yes, Amy, I agree. Whatever happens, happens. I was talking to my sister today, and I was saying if you release expectations, you can't be disappointed. If you accept things as they are, you can be pleasantly surprised. So just walk around with that mantra. All right. I'm actually going to change it. It makes me feel chaotic. I just don't feel like it's you. It's funny, but I'm like, it's throwing me. Yeah. All right, IJ. So we've got a channeled message and a in-depth for you. Do you have a preference on which we get started with first?
Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 with Galaxy, I don't know, the most expensive plan I would buy. Our communities share one heartbeat. It lives in the places we get, the spaces that give us purpose. But when disasters strike, that heartbeat stops. The very fiber of a community torn. And that's when Belfour steps in to help bring it all together. So students can learn, hospitals can heal, and families can return. Belfour, restoring more than property. Why do we love your FA team? Because they still come off, right? Hey, Dad.
Good night, Amy.
Love it, run.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Spicy ramen, that sounds so good. I saw this like ramen place not near where I live, but in the area that I was at today. And it looked really good. Okay, so in depth first. If you guys donated and you cannot hang out, make sure you leave your questions with me. I'm randomly posting the order of the list right now. Cece, are you getting tired? So I have you for an in-depth. I'm not sure if it's like a love spread or if you have a specific question, but yeah, leave your question with me. Let me know what we're doing for you. Or is it like a mini and some message cards? Let me know. All right. I know. Is it hot in here too? Mm-hmm. Take this one off.
Take a time out. 7:53 going.
IJ, this follow was on Instagram. Is that correct? The specific question was the connection with Danny and this person in place in the East Bay. He goes to on the weekends. Okay, Cece, I got you. Yeah, just come back tomorrow or later or whenever you have a minute. You can look for your reading. I will post your question on the screen. So when you're like scrolling my video, you can like find your timestamp, okay? Taka was a BOGO. All right, let me see. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yep, I got your email. So we're good there, Taka. So you can do the same. Just come back whenever to get your reading. And then I think that's everyone because Lovely's a channeled message. So I know what I'm doing for everyone now. So anybody that wants to head out, feel free to do so. Yeah, you're welcome, Taka. Okay, so it was Instagram. Because I was going to say, I feel like Instagram does make suggestions in the notifications, but she has to know who you are in order to want to follow you. So that is leading me to believe that she wants to get to know you. She wants to learn more about you. I have the 7 of Cups. And so the 7 of Cups is when you're thinking about a lot of different things. What could this be? Who is this person? Etc. etc. I don't find that unless the content or the person is of interest, people are not going to follow you on Instagram. I think they're more likely to follow you on TikTok randomly or even Facebook, even Snapchat. Instagram is just not one of those things that I find are trying to make personal connections on Instagram. I feel like it's more about business. And it's funny because you said it was her business page that started following you. The thing is that's not like you were following her for her content. She was following you for yours. So I do feel, you're welcome, Cece. I do feel that she was talking to her sister about you, and her sister is trying to, I guess, get some information. See who you are, see what you're all about. There could also be this like slight subconscious thought that if you saw this happening and you knew who she was, that you might be able to figure out the fact that you and her, not the sister, but N, have like this connection and that you are being recognized. I remember saying at another previous reading that the public acknowledgement of your connection is going to become more and more prominent because you had mentioned that she's becoming a little bit more obvious with her liking things and commenting on things. And I think that that's where the connection is taking place. And I remember feeling like that was going to continue. There was going to be, because I think it was 6 of Wands, there was going to be more obvious, I guess you could say, acknowledgement in the public eye. Is that like the right word? Maybe. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Just like more, I think the word you used was overt. Okay. So she's not keeping things under wraps or in secret anymore. And that the acknowledgement of your connection that you guys have will become more public. Did I know that it was going to be partly her sister that was going to help that be very apparent? No, I did not know that. But I did feel like your connection was going to be taken less in this like private back and forth and more in this like open and obvious and very visible way. And so the sister coming in is shocking, but when you really step back and think about the readings we've done, it's really not that surprising. So I feel like she's trying to get to know you. I feel like she sees you, she's heard about you, she's wanting to kind of see what you're about. And I think that she potentially got permission from N to do this. Or she may have told her that she did this or something along those lines. Because I feel like when you're trying to keep a situation under wraps and you don't want someone to know, you're not going to just outright follow them. And so there has to be some type of approval from N for this to be okay, meaning that she's like, oh yeah, sure, go follow him, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if the capacity of what she's telling her sister about you, it feels like it is kind of under wraps from N's standpoint. But I feel like N is talking so positively about this person on Instagram and this person she knows and the things that he's saying, and she's bringing you up very organically. And I think that the sister is recognizing from the tone of N that there might be something more here. When you're a sister, you just kind of know. Like you just have intuition. You can just kind of tell, even if your sister's not telling you outright that they have a crush on someone, you can just like sense it. And so even though N might not have been super direct with her about like, oh, I have a crush on this guy, or this guy's like pursuing me or whatever, I feel like there's still something in her sister's gut that's like, oh, there's got to be something here. And I think she's curious. And I think, well, the other question is your profile public? Or, because like that's another layer to this too. Because if your profile is already public, if she wanted to see you and get to know you and see your content, she could literally just look. She wouldn't need to follow you. So I think following you is like a big acknowledgement. You said it is public. Yeah. So following you is a big statement if you ask me. You don't just follow people for no reason. Like I said, Instagram is not that platform. Instagram is more like influencing and selling something to you. There's like not a single, it's like, or like longer form content with like reels and stuff like that. Well, short form content, you get what I'm trying to say. I feel like from her perspective, it was a statement. Like it was like, and also maybe wanting to know if you knew who she was too, and just kind of piquing your curiosity. So this is a very layered thing, but also almost like a very nonchalant thing at the same time. I have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So this is more like wanting to gain intel, wanting to gain information. Let's see. There's just a curiosity about you. I just keep going back to this Seven of Cups. Is her sister older than her? Do you know? I guess that doesn't really matter, but there is like a layer of like wanting to kind of protect her sister too. I want you to know who I am. Exactly. Because I have the 10 of Wands and I also have the 8 of Wands. And it's almost like this protective feeling, like, wanting to make sure that, like, who is this person and is he good for her and like that kind of thing. You think she's older and already married. Yeah. So it could be like a little bit of protectiveness as well. Just seeing that, what her sister has been through and just wanting to make sure that there's not going to be somebody who's going to take advantage of her. But like I said, it doesn't really even matter if she's older or younger, because I think siblings are just protective of each other no matter what. Yeah. But like I said, I think it was an intentional act because there are a lot of ways around, especially if your account is public, your page is public, that she can learn about you without needing you to know that she's watching you. Are you ready for me to get started on your channel message?
Did you know taking Zyzol and not produce allergies while you sleep? So you wake refreshed for a more productive day. The 24-hour continuous sleep.
No, I think it's funny is that the nap that we took earlier was just to catch up on the sleep we didn't get last night. And now the nap you're about to take is like just a nap. I don't know if you're going to be able to sleep very well though with all this like going on. All these lights and everything. Perfect, IJ. Okay, let me get shuffling. Wait, what did I do with my deck? Oh. They're definitely skimping. Look at how small that sandwich is. They say that that's a half sandwich, and doesn't that look like a quarter sandwich? All right. So we are working on IJ's channeling. Hi, Jay. Welcome in. We're just doing donations tonight. If you're ever curious, just look at the title of my live stream, okay?
Confidence and the amount of time spent in your seats is one of the measuring How surprised are you, Rocky, that Cardinal hasn't been able to engage in that? I guess it's very surprised when you look at the fact that Tim Ross left in Cardinal a week ago with 7, but they were practicing that much time. So three calls it and picks up 4 on it's a third down. 3 minutes to play.
Something coming in the front in the face. I think your friends sometimes in easy read. That's really not much time to deliver them. It's like you want to make a little weird thing that's a little.
Carlo Bellotti formation, 5 receivers for Branson. On the out there, Todd, it's going to be an important spot here. And they give Brown a propitious, favorable, right at that first down. Wow.
Matchup on a linebacker. That's a. Anytime you get a running back on a linebacker, you feel like you got the advantage. Good job by Marcus Brown. Slot receiver position. Get the first down.
That's the first touchdown conversion now. The play action. That is complete to C.J. Williams. Well, it's been a long time between drinks and waters for C.J. Williams. He might be their most lethal target. Finally gets a catch for 13.
Mr. Brant's best throw. He's looking for the out route and gets back. C.J. Williams on the crossing route. He's not navigating the crossing. Delivers. We see him tackle that ball a couple of times on a similar route. He sticks that one right on the 3.
Thanks for from Wisconsin. They have 17 players under the border compared to 4 from the season ago. Off the play action. No accidents, all kind of unclaimed land in front. Comes out of bounds about 4-yard shot of the first down. Under a minute to go, picked up 6.
Mark, a couple plays ago, you used the word propitious. So the group, the crew, and the truck, and I, you're all used stuff like that. Then we have to look it up. Giving or indicating a good chance of success. Hey. Okay. I'm going to use that ball. I didn't get into Stanford, but it works like that. Chance I did.
You know, I've seen those Georgia Tech SAT scores. That's no joke.
That's what comes from there.
It's headlines. Straight ahead. As we get a look at Tuna Alton. Now in the tailback in place of Michael.
30 pounds. See Michael Ford, Cedric Irvin, Old Tab, entire running back. He's going to take this one.
The Cardinals hoping to put some points on the scoreboard. With 15 minutes to play, they'll have the football when we come back. As Frank Wright tries to get this ship moving in the right direction. Back after this.
Ever since we told Jason Kelsey about NFL Sunday Ticket month to month, he hasn't stopped cheering. NFL Sunday Ticket month to month. Now join and cancel anytime.
No, not really want this one, right? There is some great bits yet, and I always seem to get primo parking. But you don't have to be a VIP to get more than just savings with Trico. Every customer gets tip-top service with 24/7 fast-friendly trains. I never do this, but can I get a picture? It's not like you run into animal celebrities every day. Stand corrected. You never do this.
They're more than just savings.
You want me to take your glasses? Okay.
Monday Night Football, NFL primetime, NFL scripting, the NFL Network with the 7 exclusive live games, NFL brings on every bowl game replay. Unlock it all. ESPN and NFL Plus Premium Run.
Every part from great fans. Stock your shop in Orange County, California. The way to
filters, we already have it plugged. Why we built a nationwide network of parts and exceptional service, all driven by one mission to keep business big, small,
Almost done.
check out this. The other decision also. Let's go. This is here. No.
Is that why you pulled away late? Well, she takes care of business coming off that big win over Clemson, Georgia. Picking up the margin that people would have thought against.
All right. So she says, I keep thinking about all of the things I have never said out loud to you. You have always felt like the beginning of something in me, something tender and full of hope. I entered your life carrying so much, always trying to hold it together, to hide how heavy things were at times, trying to fix things on my own and find ways of feeling enough. I don't like talking about myself in this way, but I came to you sort of a project, a work in progress, and somewhere along the way, I lost track of what I needed. So it took a while to circle back around to you. But you saw through that and saw me, and when you did, I remembered who I was before all of the weight. And in this channeled message, the word wait is spelled WEIGHT, but I almost felt like it could also be spelled WAIT because she was saying she remembered, or when you did, she remembered who she was before all the wait, like all the waiting, basically, that you guys have had within your connection. So I feel like maybe she's wanting to kind of let you know or explain a little bit more as to why it's taking so long for her to come back around. Because there was definitely a spark there in the beginning, and then in the middle, there was some waiting. And then now I feel like she's kind of like coming back into it. So yeah, I thought that was like a really cool message because I don't think she's talked about that before. And then I also was like, oh, she's a lyrical genius because the fact that that sentence could be spelled either way, that the word wait, I was like, that's kind of like a song. But yeah, I really enjoyed channeling that one. That was nice. You're welcome, IJ. Have a good night, okay? Thank you. Talk soon. All right. So next up is SB. SB, if you're here, feel free to check in. SB donated for an in-depth reading. So we are going to go ahead and get started there. All right. And your question is this new person. Your first message is funny. It's been a bit of a struggle. Yeah, you gotta laugh at this point. What is it? You gotta kiss a lot of frogs before you get your prince or something like that. I think that's how it goes. Okay. Let's see if this connection will be a good fit. Okay, I will. Yes, I do. All right, wanting to know if this is a good fit for you, and I am getting a yes. This is a good fit, good match, etc. There are a couple cards telling me that, but I'm going to start with the moon. The moon came out alongside the Four of Wands, and the moon by itself, I don't think it's necessarily good or bad. I think it's kind of neutral. I think there could be like a lot of really good things with the moon, but I also think that there could be a lot of things that are kind of hidden, because that's the point, that we need to bring out. But what I was gathering, because the Four of Wands came out alongside of it, is that this is a great connection for you, because you guys can, it's like a connection of depth. Like, I feel like you guys are able to kind of go underneath the surface and maybe take things to the next level, maybe a little bit faster than you would with other people. The Four of Wands always signifies to me like taking the next step. And then the moon talks about depth and the things hidden and our inner secrets and emotions and some subconscious like thoughts, things that we don't even recognize. And so like I feel like there's a lot of depth in this connection. It means that you guys can go deep romantically, but also even just on like, I don't even want to say surface because that doesn't even apply here, but basically on a surface level, like on a friendship level, I feel like you guys provoke a lot of deep thought in one another, or you have the capacity to do that. So you would probably find yourself like hanging out with each other and having very like thought-provoking, enlightening kind of conversations with one another. And if that has not happened yet, there's the potential for that to happen here. So I think that that's a really nice fit. That's a really nice change. The Four of Wands always tells me that you guys are both open to taking things to the next level. It also is a card of foundation and kind of building trust with one another and building up this connection as well. Let me see, what else do we have? The 10 of Pentacles. So that card is like always my card for long term. It makes me feel like you guys have not, and maybe if it's newer, this kind of makes sense, but whenever I see this card, it always makes me feel like the intentions behind the connection is for it to continue. Okay, because the 10 of Pentacles to me is long term. It's enduring. It's this thing where it's like I never really see an end to it. So far, so good. And at the beginning of the relationship, that's not as profound as maybe if you were like a couple months into the connection. That would probably mean a lot more. But it basically means at this point, he hasn't gotten tired of you yet. And, you know, the 10 of Pentacles also talks about that. Maybe he is looking for his life partner, because the 10 of Pentacles is very much like the person you see life through with till the end. And with the 4 of Wands foundations and the 10 of Pentacles building a life together, it makes me feel like you guys are on the same page for what it is that you're looking for. I feel like with the 4 of Wands, it's like a secure partnership, open to whatever it is that comes next. The 4 of Wands, like I said, is always talking about like the next steps, so celebrating milestones and just kind of like representing joy and happiness and coming together and commitment and things like that. And then we have the 2 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. So this is like the card of anticipating expansion with one another. The 2 of Cups also signifies, like, to me, ideal matches and good fits for one another. Let me pull a couple more cards here. Oh, and I see the 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, so we're going to pull that aside as well. Anything is a good fit. Is a good fit. I feel like he sees your value. The Queen of Cups is here. So he sees your intuition or emotional range or emotional intelligence and availability as an asset. The 9 of Cups indicates like this is kind of what I was looking for. Like I kind of feel like I found someone who's somewhat on the same page as me. This is from his perspective. I think there's a mutual attraction here as well. I think something to kind of dive in with is like your values and your traditions and like what's important to you. I think is important for this connection. What's important to you is important. But like basically what I'm trying to say is I think kind of just getting that, if you guys haven't talked about that kind of stuff, like beliefs and value systems and things like that, that's definitely an important conversation to have to kind of make sure that you guys are on the same page with that. But I do think you would be, just because the Two of Cups suggests that you would be on the same page, or that you would be open minded to a different perspective and still be like, this is still something I want to pursue. And I think that this is a good foundation for fostering a really like beautiful and potentially like significant connection between the two of you. I just really like the flow of this reading. The Knight of Wands is like, there's definitely attraction here and like physical interest as well, which is important when trying to build a relationship with a romantic partner. So yeah, I just really do enjoy the flow of this. Again, it's all new, so don't want to jump the gun here, but I am liking the energy. So that is what I have for you, SB. I hope you enjoyed your reading with me tonight. Thank you for your donation. Feel free to ask me any questions in Instagram if you need anything clarified that I said. All right. And we are going to move over to Taka. Taka, are you still awake? Let me know. I am posting the donation list periodically, so if you guys are curious where you fall on the list, just scroll the chat. All right, we're just going to keep on rolling. Let me look at Taka's questions real quick.
The offense as a whole has been disjointed. That's not all on him. He's actually off. 17 to 26 passing, 176 yards. It's a rushing touchdown.
I read everything that you're asking, and I'm laughing at the broke his heart. That's cute. Okay, so all right, let me tap in here. Give me a second. Okay. Hey, Taka. So this is like a funny message because he's cute. I feel like he's got like a good sense of humor about things, but you know, he would kind of joke around and be like, I really want to protect her, and I really want, to shelter her from like these big emotions, and I want to help her, and I feel really bad that, she went through this, but I want to protect her, and the problem is that it was me. Like, I was the problem, and like I'm trying to relate in the way that he's feeling it in his mind, but he's like, how do I protect her if I'm the one that caused the problem? So I feel like he just kind of was in this place where he just didn't really know what to do. And I don't think you, like, what am I trying to say? I don't think that you put like a bad taste in his mouth, or like maybe he was a little awkward or a little uncomfortable, but I think genuinely I think he was able to compartmentalize, I suppose is the right word. Like, he was able to rationalize what was going on with you. Okay. So yeah, it might have been him that was like the straw that broke the camel's back, but I think he was able to rationalize, like, okay, I've never seen her like this before. I know that it's been super stressful. Like, I'm kind of hot under the collar too myself. And, so it's like he, of course, didn't want to be the person that put you in this situation, right? He would never want to like intentionally upset you. But at the same time, he was only taking it personally partially, because he knew that the other part of it was like, this is very out of character for you, and trying to basically give you the benefit of the doubt. I think that he didn't want to let this one thing that happened like stain his complete opinion of you, especially because he knows that this is not typical for you. This is not really something that you do or show or upset with. And I think in a strange way, being emotional about him and a misunderstanding that you were having with him specifically almost made him like you more in a weird twisted way, because he could see like how important this was to him, that you guys worked through this. And so it almost gave him like this, like, a reverse psychology in a way. Like, it made him feel like, okay, this girl really likes me. I think, like, if she's getting this worked up about this, she must really like me. So it was almost like a compliment, but also I don't want to hurt her, but also I know she's been through a lot. This is not normal for her. So, I mean, I think he really was just trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. He was just trying to allow for you to feel your feelings and like try not to take it to heart. Okay. So there was a little bit of flattery somehow mixed in with this. Yeah. I just think, like you said, it was the perfect storm for this to happen. It was just like one thing after another. And he unfortunately found himself like in the mix of that. But the fact that you were emotional about it, I think, is what struck a chord in him and like impacted him, because he's thinking that if I don't matter to her, she wouldn't get this emotional about it. And so it made him feel maybe a little bit more secure in your connection, and made him feel a little more important and like seeing some vulnerability from you. Almost like stabilize things for him. Obviously, this isn't something he wants to experience or witness like often, or maybe like ever again, but at the same time, I think there was a silver lining that came out of this. And I think it was that you guys had an issue, you confronted it, you made it to the other side, and all is well. So, it kind of helps you to be able to see that, like, when a actual romantic relationship were to develop, that you guys would be able to get through it. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, we just had our first fight, you know, like, oh my god, we just had our first fight. So yeah, like obviously there was a mix of emotions for him as well, but I don't think it was as hard or as harsh as maybe retroactively you might be thinking that it is. It was enlightening and eye-opening, and maybe at the end of the day he's grateful that it happened because he was able to kind of see the importance that he has in your life, and that made him feel good. Any questions about that before I move on to your next question? All right, let's shuffle first question number 2. All right. Next actions. I'm just cracking up at the broke his heart thing. That's so fine to me. Oh my god, things are back to normal. Does he think things are too serious? Does he think things are too serious? You're not gonna scare him off, Taka. You know what? It was something funny. I have said this before. I have this theory. And what was funny is after I asked my husband this question and he agreed, I mentioned it to my sister and she agreed. And then the synchronicity came when I was, I think I had this conversation first with Lovely, like a while back. And then the synchronicity came when like a day later after I just had this conversation with my husband and my sister, I actually saw a reel or a TikTok or some kind of short form video. And in the comments, someone said the exact same thing that I said. So this is clearly like a collective thought. But I don't think you can scare him away because I think men will say relationships like hetero sexual relationships like guy girl. I think the guy wants to be a little scared. I think the key to a successful relationship is when the guy is just a little bit scared of the girl. Not like abusive, okay? Now we're not talking about like DV, but we're talking about how like the girl's a little unpredictable. The girl says a little bit of crazy things, got a little crazy in her. And I think that is the perfect storm for like a healthy relationship. I think it's men just like being a little scared of their woman. So for you, I don't think you're scaring him off. I think if he's interested in women, if he's interested in you, this is not going to be enough to make him want to run away. Trust and believe that. It might have actually excited him a little bit just to see like an emotional range from you. Okay. Would it be a red flag if this was happening every single day? Absolutely. Would you scare him off at that point? Probably. But a little bit of unpredictableness is going to keep a relationship fresh. You know, he's got to be a little scared. All right. That's just how it is. So, with that being said, I don't think he thinks things are too serious. Again, in the question number 1, I felt like he was a little bit flattered that you would get so emotional over this with him. And I think things getting back to normal is an indication that you guys are past it and everything's fine. if he was acting different or he was acting weird, we would be having a different conversation. But I understand wanting things to just continue on this trajectory and not wanting to like do too much. So as long as it's not a daily occurrence or it doesn't happen like often, like all the time, I think you're fine. In terms of his next actions, he's the emperor. He's like, I'm steady, I'm stable, I'm not going anywhere. Okay. And also, I think maybe he feels a little bit at fault too for how things went down yesterday. You know, I think that he also accepts some responsibility in that because, like you said, he also wasn't doing so good. He was in a bad mood. So he's not gonna completely like pin this on you and make you feel like, oh, this is all your fault and I'm walking away now, because he also feels like he played a hand in it. So the emperor actions is like, I'm steady, I'm stable, I'm not going anywhere, like I don't have any intentions of going anywhere, I'm here. And maybe even like a little bit more attentive in the coming days, just because he might feel like you need that. He might feel like he needs to check in with you. So you probably will notice after this happens, and kind of like today where he's checking in and making sure you're okay, there might be a little bit more attentiveness coming up, a little more attention to detail, a little more like anticipating your needs. Because with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like, I really want to turn this around. I really want to make sure we're good. And, you know, I just want to make sure that like we're happy. The Wheel of Fortune talks about like luck and good fortune and things like that. So I feel like he really just wants to make sure things are going to continue on the up and up. He really likes being in a good place with you. I have the Fool here. So he's kind of just going to be living moment to moment, but really just trying to get back to the groove of you guys just being present and laughing, having a good time, and enjoying each other's company. Let's see. Anything else? He says, I'm not walking away. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles means he's not tired of you yet, okay? And I say yet as a joke, not that he's going to get tired of you, but it's like one of those things where it's like, wow, like I just love being around her. I just don't get sick of it. So he has every intention of continuing this with you. And if the Emperor didn't state it, the 10 of Pentacles definitely does. As far as an action, this would indicate continuing to pursue you and also maybe trying to find ways to spend more time around you. The Judgment card means, and the Ace of Swords means that there's been clarity in this connection. So far, he may even want to seek more clarity from you, maybe check in with you at least one more time just to make sure all is well, all is good. But the Judgment card talks about how you guys have essentially absolved each other of the issue that happened. So he's like ready to move on and you're ready to move on. And I don't think this is going to be like lingering or hovering over your connection. And we also have the Four of Wands, which talks about taking things to the next level. So I feel like his desire to just continue to pursue this and like get closer to you, engage with you, you know, secure this partnership, all of that stuff, you know, moving forward, I think is what he's looking to work towards. And the Four of Wands also signifies commitment. So I remember saying to you like a couple readings back that when he thinks of like the girl he's seeing, talking to, or having like a romantic feelings for, you are the girl that pops up for him. And so maybe this is all just to lead to commitment. You know what I mean? Like this is all leading towards that place. But yeah, I think it's okay. I really like to see the Judgment card here because it just makes me feel like you guys were able to clear the air. And like I said, he might check on you at least one more time. But I really truly think that he is like, I'm good if she's good. I don't think that he's holding on to anything here. And like I said, as long as it's not like an occurrence that's happening constantly, I think more than anything, he's honored, I guess you could say, that you opened up to him in that way and that it mattered enough to you to get that emotional about it. Does that answer your question? You're welcome, Taka. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. All right, next on the list, I have Cece. Cece said that she was fading fast. But Cece, if you're here, feel free to check in with me. All right. All right. Cece left her question with me. All right. All right. So what is the nature of Danny and this person in East Bay? He used to go to on the weekends. What is the nature of this relationship? What is the nature of this relationship? Gunner. Oh no. Okay. So Cece, I'm getting, is it family? No. Is it a lover? Yes. Is it friend? No. With that being said, I think we're leaning more towards a romantic connection. Okay. I want to say, well, hold on, let me double check. Lover, it seems like too strong of a word, if I can be honest. But I do think there's like a romantic entanglement. There's interest, there has been interest on his side for this person, but most of the interest is coming from this person in the East Bay. So for the sake of this exercise, we're going to refer to Danny as him and the person in East Bay as her. If my pronouns are wrong, please forgive me. I feel like she has maybe more invested in this. Like there was more here for her from her perspective, maybe more emotional involvement, something along those lines. I feel like there is interest from his side of things, but I feel like there's more emotional investment because I have the Queen of Cups from her perspective, and then from his perspective, I have the Ace of Swords. So that's more like mental stimulation, boosting my ego. I'm here for like the conversation. There could be like some flirting, things like that going on. It does not feel like commitment. It feels just like more romantic involvement. There could be like a friends with benefits situation, but like I said, it doesn't feel like a commitment or like a romantic connection with this person. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other information. I feel like he felt like in power here. Like he was like, this is, if it's what I want, then it will happen. Like I feel like he felt he had the upper hand in this connection. Like he called the shots. The ball was in his court kind of thing. Is there anything else? Yeah, I think that's it. I hope that answers your question, Cece. I'm looking at your question, just trying to make sure that I've gone over everything for you. I definitely feel like she was giving more to this than he was, like more energy, more effort, more emotional like involvement than he was, but he was entertaining it. Okay. So, Cece, hopefully that answers your question. All right, we are going to move on to the next person. Lovely's back. Yay. Hey, Lovely. I'm trying to catch up on this list so fast, but we got busy so quickly. But no one's come through in over an hour. So that was really interesting. Like everyone was kind of coming through right on, like one on top of each other. You're right on time, girl. You right on time. Okay, so channeling. Oh wait, let me see your new profile picture. Oh, that's cute. Definitely more like goddess energy than chaotic energy. Okay. Give me a second to disconnect from this other reading. It is a goddess. Okay, perfect. Wait, which goddess is it? Do you know? Sorry, buddy. You can't go this way. You gotta turn around. You gotta turn around. And don't jump on your dad. He's sleeping. Don't do it. Don't do it. My clumsy, humongous cat. I was like, do not jump. My husband's sleeping next to me right now. I was like, if you jump on your dad, he's going to freak out. My cat is huge, so that would have not been fun for him. You're not even sure. It's all good. It looks pretty. I think he's trying to get me to put him to sleep. He knows he gets snacks before bed, so he's up to no good, I swear. All right. Let's get to shuffling. How did your live stream go earlier today? Was it good? I saw you were on. We seem to go live at the same times. So it's funny that I see you in here so often because I always feel like you're going to be working. It was good. Good night, busy, not crazy. I love that. I love busy, not crazy. I like steadiness. That's my favorite. I like when I start a live and I always have a list going, but it's never overwhelming. I think we talked about that before. Like whereas I'm finishing up with one reading, then another donations come through, just kind of like that steadiness. Sundew Siren, hello and welcome in. So if you take a look at the description box under this video, I have a menu, a reading options menu. I have readings ranging from $5 to $35. And we kind of do like an a la carte situation over here, meaning that you can kind of like build your own reading. So my yes, no's, just a basic, no elaboration are $5. I have love spreads. I have, if you have a specific question in mind, I can do a mini reading or an in-depth for you. If you have multiple questions, I recommend the BOGO because you can do 2 questions, up to 10 cards, and it's like more bang for your buck, I guess. And then right now I'm working with Lovely. I'm doing a channeled message for her. And it's basically a curated first-person channeling where I use automatic writing to create a custom message from the person that you're asking about. So if it's like a love question that you have, I have the channelings as well. And then I have add-ons at the end. So just take a look at the description and let me know if you have any questions about that. The pinned comment in the chat has a link that will take you to my PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App information. He said, I've been trying to get back to morning lives, but it hasn't worked out that way. Yes, I totally get that. I think my brother's coming into town this week, so I think that I will be live a couple times this week, maybe a little earlier than usual. We'll see how it all plays out, but I'm trying to make sure I maximize my time while he's visiting, and I don't want it to dig into like my work time. Right. Sundew Siren, if you decide to do a donation, let me know that you're sending it, because if not, I'll probably be signing off after this reading that I'm doing right now. Okay. All right, perfect. But yeah, lovely. I don't think I could do morning readings. I wish that I was that person. I'll do morning readings at 2 a.m., but not like 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I'm sleeping. But I also understand the variety of doing different live streams at different times, because with YouTube, you have people from all over the world. And so there's probably benefits of kind of switching it up here and there. Gunner. I knew he was going to start getting into stuff. I just knew it. I know my children. I've gotten used to not going on in the morning now. The earliest I've done is 1:30. I used to go on at 10. You know what? That's the best part about this business is we can make our own schedule. Sundew, I got you for what looks like a mini reading about a friend. Okay, give me a second. Once I'm done with Lovely, I will be right with you, okay? You're welcome, Sundew. Almost done, Lovely. All right, you said I'm here, was looking for my allergy meds. They start acting up around this time of year. Oh my god, girl, me too. I've been on allergy meds for 4 months. I was off of it for like a week and a half because I hadn't gotten them from the store, and that was like the biggest mistake of my life. So I feel you for sure on that. Okay. So mine tend to active during this time of year, mostly fall. Oh, you used to get them all year and now it's only fall? That's nice. It's really nice. All right, I sent you a copy of your reading and I am going to read it out loud to you now. So he says, I truly want to be accountable for my part in everything. I haven't always gotten it right, but I want to make things right. During the time that I stepped back, I wasn't trying to disappear. That's the way it played out, and I'm sorry for that. The quiet taught me that no matter how far I wander, every road leads me back to you. I can't exhaust the sentiment that you aren't just someone I care about. You're someone I would like to see a future with, build a life with, if I could ever be so lucky. My mind has been filled with so many feelings and thoughts that don't always fit into clean sentences the second they exit my mouth. But I know my intentions are clear. It's something I feel deep down.
Your customers bet $5 to get 300 instantly in postmates.
Everything's just $6. Nothing breaking. Things combo. $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this, all that. Lunch breakfast for $6. Weekday at our house.
Exactly. And the part that kind of stood out to me is when he said, for my part and everything. And I was like, okay. I mean, I definitely was pulling that, like, he's like, oh, I'm like 99% responsible here. I mean, it's kind of like a little bit of a cop out because he's like not, fully taking the blame. But at the same time, like, when two people are in a connection, someone can be like majorly like in the wrong, but there could still have been, I don't know. I feel like he's 100% wrong. That's just me, but I'm trying to like I'm trying to like rationalize this. But yeah, but I do want to be clear though, like when I was channeling that, I did feel like he was like, I know this is like mostly on me, if not all, but Gunner, stop getting into stuff. He wants me to put him to bed. And the problem is that I don't reward bad behavior. So if I bring him to his room, I'm just going to shut the door and we'll deal with that later. Because I don't reward bad behavior, do I? No, I do not. Okay. So you said people tend to respond without listening first, and I feel like that's what happened. I agree. I agree. That's how I felt because you responded so fast that I even trying to understand where you were coming from. Yeah. And you know that we've kind of gone over that before, but that was like a trigger for him, you know. So that's the problem. He's trying to tell you he wants to go to bed, but he doesn't know how to not wake you up. So he's been like wandering around you, but he's not awake. Are you still tired? I can put them to bed. You want to lay back down? You don't have to do that. Just go back to sleep.
I think we should have put you to bed, buddy. Should have put you to bed, buddy.
I'll put you to bed, Gunner. You said once you saw his response, you were like, yeah, he's triggered. Yep. 1000%. You know, and the other thing too, Lovely, is I don't think he meant for it to come across like as harsh as it did. Like, I don't think that was the intention for him. I think it just kind of came out the way it came out. And you know what? Actually, now that I've said that, in this channeling, he's like, things don't come out of my mouth the right way. Like, you know, I feel like something gets lost in translation between like his brain and his mouth, and it like malfunctions. And so, you know, when he was typing that up, obviously he was triggered, but I think also he didn't think it through. He was just like really hasty, you know, with that response. I am, girl, but I'm about to finish up my last reading of the night. We're working on a mini reading here in a second, and then I'll be signing off. Luckily, it's only been like 2.5 hours. It's not too bad, but it's been constant, so it's been busy. Yeah, it was a really good night. So Lovely, I feel like for him, it's like he wasn't trying to make it that harsh, you know, but it's how it came out. And then he was like, oh shit, you know. And then I think he was like, oh well. You know, like, because I remember saying to you, like, I don't think it processed right away, like how much he would miss you, and maybe he just thought bygones be bygones, oh well. And then I think over time is like where it really started to build up for him. You're welcome, Lovely. I hope you have a good night. Yeah, longer lives definitely exhaust me, Amy, but there's been a couple times back in the day where I would actually be live for like 6 to 8 hours, and those were crazy. Those were draining. All right, Sundu, are you ready for your reading? Lovely. Have a good rest of your night, friend. Those were wild. Yep. I can't do that anymore. I cannot. Oh my god, laugh my ass off. Yes, because even when we spoke a few days later, he was open to talking, but then closed off. So I told him it seemed like there was nothing left to talk about. So this makes sense. Yep. But come on, dude. Like, get it together. Obviously, I don't want to rush his process, but at this point, like, he's just, it's like, what's the expression? Shit or get off the pot, basically. Like, chop. it's September now, and that's kind of when I was feeling that he would reach out to you. So like, let's get it going. Aw, that's so cool. Have a good night, girl. We'll talk soon. Amy, I think that's great. I think practicing your intuition in any divination tool is amazing. So whatever you feel called to do is what you want to start with. Sundew, I am shuffling for you right now. So I read your question, and hold on, let me pull it up real quick. Where's my phone at? Oh, that's okay. If it's just about your friend, Sundew, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Like, I'll answer any question pretty much. I do have a disclaimer on certain things I don't talk about, but friends, career, projects, moving, love, just like anything is fine with me. All right, you said
and Hamburger will let children change genders without telling their parents. Won't walk in technical
oh.
Something's not. A real mom weighs her fears. Protect kids. Put parents first.
Okay, so I read your message, Sundew. What is your question, I guess? Because like you gave me a little bit of a backstory, but I don't know what you're asking me. Like, do you have a specific question about this? Yeah, Amy, I think that's awesome. Yes, get some rest, Amy. Have a great rest of your night. All right, so you said, I'm not one to think of spells, but for a while I felt like I shouldn't be still thinking about this friend after ghosting. Okay. So I guess my question is, do you want to know if there's still a reason that you guys are connected? Do you want to know if the bind is broken, or do you want to know the energy surrounding your connection with her? Like, do you want me to just do like an open-ended what is going on here? Are you looking to... Okay, that's a good... Okay, did they leave it open-ended on purpose? Okay, let me see. Did you ever get the impression that this person you're welcome. Did you ever get the impression that this person might have romantic feelings for you? Because I know that you said it's about your friend. Um, but I kind of have to rule that out because I have the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups. Is there a realm of possibility where there may have been some kind of romantic feelings or like a crush or something along those lines? If you're like, no, absolutely not, then I will pull from the other interpretation of this. But, oh, okay. Because I'm getting like romantic vibes personally. Okay, so there's a part I think of this person, and again, I'm not one to like out someone, but I think there's a part of this person that may have there may have been some romantic feelings that were stirred for them, and they weren't ready to confront that, or they weren't ready to address that. So I think that's why you guys are still connected. Another aspect that I was picking up was that, well, let me preface this. When it comes to rituals and spells and things like that, I want to make it very clear to you, and this is something that I tell everyone, that no one can overpower you, okay? You can disconnect this yourself, okay? Sometimes it takes a couple tries, all right? But you can disconnect it. And you have to do it in a way that feels like sacred to you. So, for example, when I wanted to disconnect my energy from someone, I'm a Gemini stellium. Words are like my thing. So I wrote it down. Okay. I wrote it down, said it out loud, like speaking in conversation and Gemini stellium things, just conversation and communication. That felt the most natural to me. But for you, it might be a letter and burning it. It might be a cleansing ritual, like you said. And sometimes it will take a couple of times, but you can break this. It's not, as long as you believe that you are the most powerful person in your life and that no one else can overcome that, then you don't give it power and you disconnect it. If you feel like she has more power than you, then she will continue to hold power over you. Okay. With that being said, I feel like there was a bind because potentially maybe she wanted like to feel connected to you at all times. It could have been like a love spell, if that makes sense, guised as like a friendship spell. And then in addition to that, sometimes people don't realize it, but they can be bits of energy vampires. And there was part of her that was looking to have your attention and have your energy. And that's something that she might still be like because the card strength is here, so that's like something that might be keeping her strength going. You said you're so spot on. I did do a burning letter. Oh my god, that's crazy. I still have the bracelet. They made the second one with wire. I mean to do something with it. Wow, that's actually so wild. Thank you, Spirit, for giving me that example because that resonated with you. I think she still is tethered to you because it may be something that makes her feel empowered. It makes her feel connected to you still in some way. And I think that she doesn't have any intention of letting this go. But if you break it, and again, it's sometimes going to take a couple tries. Okay. So, like you have to be clear and mentally ready for this. And like, it can take a few tries, but it can happen. And it's more about like your belief system and calling yourself back from her and reclaiming yourself. And what's funny, I didn't even think about this. So I got a like a direct message from Spirit about the burning letter, but as I'm looking at these cards here, there's literally 2 fires burning. There's a fire pit on one card, the Ace of Wands, and there's a fire pit on the Hermit as well. I don't know how you would destroy a wire bracelet, but maybe literally just destroying it, maybe getting like wire clippers and just like chopping that shit up, like, and then maybe like burying it or something. I just feel like you have to do what feels like right to you. So if in your mind destroying it, physically destroying it is what's going to work for you, then you have to do that. But I think that this all is rooted in avoidance of potential romantic feelings. I think that she wanted to stay connected to you, and I think that I think that what's going to happen is if you're not able to completely like disconnect this, she's going to keep coming through. She's going to come through in dreams. Probably you're going to be seeing her name everywhere. You're going to probably have certain blocks in your life when it comes to making new friends or forming new relationships. So you really have to disconnect this. And like I said, no one has more power over you than yourself. So while this could take 2 tries, for example, it's definitely something that you have to do, and you have to believe that it's worked. I think it's sad because if she was honest, I may have wanted to date her. But it's like, why sabotage? I feel like I need to move on. It has affected me wanting new friends. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, it's going to affect you forming new bonds and new friendships and new relationships. It is sad. It is sad. Because like you said, if she was honest, that you may have considered it, but it was feelings that were stirred that she was not ready to confront. So she was in more of like an avoidance place. And I don't think she was ready to actually flat out tell you. Yeah. But Sundu, that is what I have for you, friend. Thank you so much for your donations. It looks like this is the first time you've come to my channel. Does it show her returning? No. Technically it is an extra question, but I'm just going to take the last card of the reading to see how it ends. And I have the Hermit. So that is isolation, separation, independence. So no, if I can go off of that, I don't think that she will come back. Yeah, you're welcome. Well, hopefully we see you back soon. I'm glad that you found me. This is my full-time job, so I'm here multiple times a week, usually later at night. So I'm sure you'll catch me another time if you ever come back in. Have a wonderful rest of your night. That sounds great. Well, we'll talk again, Sendu. Have a good night.